So Kathleen, I'm wondering, can you start us off discussing what the word trauma implies?
Yeah, thanks. So there's lots of definitions. So I'm going to give you a few. I think we think of trauma has to be having to be this big life event that is really, obviously traumatic. And really the trauma research and the diagnosis of trauma came after the war, as being a big focus and having post-traumatic stress type of symptoms. But what we're noticing is it's really any event that feels like it's life-threatening. So even the perception that it's life-threatening or harmful. And then it also has lasting adverse effects, because you and I could be going through the same experience, but one of us might have lasting impact and another one of us might not have a lasting impact because of that event. Then another definition is when the internal and external resources are inadequate for coping. So we're just, the event happens and then we're just not able to cope, which then impacts our ability to take care of ourselves and may have a long-term impact on our health and psyche. But I like these two quotes from Dr. Peter Levine saying that trauma is probably the most avoided, ignored, belittled, denied, misunderstood, and untreated cause of human suffering. It's huge. And I'm really seeing that in my practice, which has given me a drive to actually address it and learn more about it. And then Dr. Gabor Mate from Canada, who moved into palliative care and really was interested in trying to optimize human health and get to the root cause of why people are suffering so much, especially with behavior. And, my background's in nutrition, but it could be any kind of behavior, is that trauma is a psychic wound that hardens you psychologically, and then that interferes with your ability to grow and develop, and it pains you, and then you start acting out of that pain, and it induces fear, and then you act out of that fear. And trauma is not what happens to you. I think this is the most important part. It's not that you went through this traumatic event, that you witnessed 9/11, or that your house burnt down. It's really what happens inside your body and inside your brain as a result of what happens to you. So helping people at the point of trauma and being present and addressing it instead of ignoring it, misunderstanding it. Like Dr. Peter Levine's quote is all about, we're better able to manage it. So it's that thing of not being talked about, which is what this whole show is about. That's the big problem with trauma long term.
You said something that really, I think for me, in watching people who've gone through trauma, you said it's something that inside happens. Okay, and that's the thing, because symptoms or these emotions that can appear in so many different ways, like a person can have repetitive thoughts about the event over and over.
Yeah.
They can have nightmares. And so there's so many. I mean, there's just losing interest in their activities because they're depressed.